Alright, welcome folks to the second game of the day. It's the sixth overall game of our Brawl 1066 tournament. And it's the first match actually between these two teams, namely Team Halu and Team Antiqui. Just need one more check mark before we can load into the game, so the timer was pretty... Alright. Sardos is just asking a couple of questions regarding his installation, but it doesn't matter for this game since no new civs were picked. As you can see, I'll put the draft up once again here. No new civs picked, so it should be fine. And there we go. We're loading into the game. So I'll switch the scenes here in just a second for you guys to see. I've updated the stats as well after the last game that we just played. And here we go. Into the game we load. Looks like it all went fine. Everybody planted turn 1, as you can see. My spies were almost all successful. Other than Elk, everybody just let me in, which I'm grateful for. Alright, so what do we have right here? We have another one of these map setups that we've had before a couple of times. It's an alternating ring setup, is what I call it. So it's a ring of players, and the teams are alternating, meaning that basically both your neighbors are your enemies. It's always team A, team B, team A, team B, team A, team B, etc. Right? So there's no two players of the same team next to each other in the ring. Of course, this is a particular variant of the alternating ring where there's two players in particular that are singled out to a pretty severe degree. In this game, you can see it's Rome over here and Egypt over here, singled out pretty far away from their team. So that could potentially become a problem for them at some point. We'll see how they'll be able to deal with that, though, and both teams have one of these unfortunate spots. So we'll see who ends up doing a better job there, whether it's going to be Reaver or Elk. Well, alright, it looks like we're on the way now. The first turn has just really begun. Random mover, of course, in case you didn't know, there's a 10-minute delay on the stream, and I can't answer your chat messages in real time, is what that means. So unfortunately, I'll have to, yeah, you'll have to make do with each other in the chat. All right, Zardo's still asking a couple of questions, and it's all good. It's all good though. He's in this is his first tourney game, so I want to ease him into it, and I'm very grateful that we were able to get this game underway. So this is gonna be an interesting one. All right, so let's talk about this again. We have this alternating ring setup. Excuse me. We have the Incans, the Iroquois down here, and the Romans on one team. And on the other, it's the Egyptians, the Celts down here, and the Persians. And Rabdak pointed out in the chat something that I immediately thought when I saw this draft play out, namely that Halu, who hasn't played a game in this tournament yet, Halu has been drafting very conservatively, very much like a regular MPT draft. He's been prioritizing. He's been picking Celts, Persia, and Egypt, as you can see. So those are all civs that people think of pretty highly in the tournament, or in MPT in general. But for this tournament in particular, nobody has won a game on Celts or Egypt yet. These two civs are 0 wins and 7 losses, if you combine their records. So this is pretty tough records that they're going to have to go up against. And oh boy, that is bad news for Reaver, I assume, as he moves up his warrior mid-turn. he spots that antiquity scout pretty close to home. So now I guess that will prompt Antiquity's Incans to move out for Egypt, perhaps, and to look out for them. He's going to communicate this with Cheese. Antiquity and Cheese, those are two neighbors that you just don't ideally want to have. But interestingly enough, Antiquity actually decides for another course of action, does not opt to go straight for Egypt with his Chasqui scout and instead sends it another direction. Moves the scout on through and sees what Egypt is up to on over there. Antiquity also went for an early chop here, so I guess he's going for that immediate granary if I had to guess. Could also do a one city Chasqui rush though for Egypt. That would be pretty potent. And Reaver already knows that it's pretty Zardos here joking about the pop situation. No, but you already know if you're Reaver there, it's gonna be a bit of a difficult game there with the Incans being relatively close by. On the other side, Celts and Romans apparently not having found out about each other just yet. As oh boy, that is an ugly sight. Oh boy, that is the earliest cap burn I think I've seen in this tourney so far. We can't even see victory. I can't even go into the victory screen yet, can I? Well, maybe I can. I don't know the F key for it, but this is incredible. And you, I guess, pop rushed the granary there and ended up burning the city for it. So tough luck for him there. It's not a start that you wish to have, but still. Oh boy, he even loses out. Wow, that's incredible. Reaver outspeeding Antiquity there, despite the war declaration coming through. This is a horrible start for Antiquity in terms of gameplay. His land he's got to love, but in terms of his early play here, he can't be happy with what's going on so far. Losing the scout pretty much for nothing there. Doesn't even get great intel about the Egyptians. Now at least he figured out about their horse location, so that's big, but man, getting that cap burn so early in the game is massive, and then also losing that scout is not what you like to see. Not at all. Over here we seemingly have two people finding each other, at least Cheese finding Halu, and Alec and Cheese are both gonna come in and see what they can do against those Celts down there. It's looking a bit uncomfortable there for the Celts. Maybe Zardos is gonna have to help him out and put some pressure onto Rome as well, although slowly but surely, and he's been making his way over to Persia as well. So now we can see he's already got vision of this. It's possible. Oh yeah, he already sees Saros. That's interesting. Oh yeah, he has the vision from the mountain as well. So he sees Persia. He'll see what he can do. There's hills there, but that's not a problem for the Incan Chasqui scout who can just double move through there. So that could possibly be a dangerous spot for Zardos to be in. In comes the double move. Let's check him out. What's he gonna be looking for with this? Unfortunately, doesn't get into a spot where he can threaten a worker or a tile improvement, but he gets into Zardos's cap and he immediately retreats with the warrior that he had out on his tiles. And now he's gonna have to figure out how he best defends all his tiles there, because the Chasqui is of course incredibly mobile, excuse me, still has a move left in this turn and could very well double move onto one of these tiles and pillage it next turn. So that's going to be interesting. Elk with a very early veteran archer. Wow, that is a interesting play. He's militaristic as Rome, of course, so he gets the cheaper barracks. But wow, I didn't expect that early a veteran archer to come out. To be frank, looks like they're really going heavy early aggression here. Interesting move by Zardos. Goes for the Spearman. Does not want to fuck around with that Chasqui scout there. And of course, nobody haven't taken GA just yet. But look at this down here for Halu. Poor man. He's got such a nice cap there for the Celts. His iron isn't even that close. But he's got such a nice cap. He would love to be able to build up a little bit. But instead, he's feeling heavy pressure here. But knows that two enemies are nearby. Somewhat nearby at least. But that is not what you like to see there, with the Romans having that popped warrior on your border as well. And now the veteran archer coming in there, they're really trying to put pressure big time onto Halu down there. Let's see how he'll be able to cope with that. On the flip side, at least Reaver's been catching a break there as Anti moves in, gets the tile improvement off of Zardos, it seems, and bad roll for the Persians too. Let's check out if he wants to use another warrior, and he does. Now he could move out with the spearman and finish off the Chasky, but that would be very risky considering the fact that there could be a Chasky scout on any of these tiles double moving into Persepolis start of next turn, so you don't want to empty that cap if possible. GA for Antiquity, that means though, so interesting. A bit earlier GA that you probably don't want to see, although the early the better is usually the rule for GAs in this tourney. We'll see what he'll use it for. Cheese in the meantime, he's in an awesome spot. He's not getting pressured this game. He's already building that second city there. He's got pressure on both his neighbors. Almost loses that warrior there, but oh boy, that's another warrior gone for Zardos. He's just taken horrible trades right there. Looks like he's also lost his warrior on offense against Elk's archer there. So at least that is a good help for Halu, who now elected to go for a very interesting second city, not even on freshwater. Doesn't feel comfortable doing that. And he's gone for that early second city. If he can survive that, it will pay off big time. But it is a tough spot to be in. Luckily, that veteran archer here got delayed by Zardos. That was potentially a game-saving move there for Halu, who's been greeting a little bit here. Reaver also with a second city, though. Interesting move for the settler. Wonder where he's going to go. But in moves Cheese, and oh boy, that is a horrible roll for Reaver. He can recover with the second warrior, however. So it wasn't that bad a roll. Horrible was maybe a bit of an overstatement there. Just unfortunate there, Cheese getting his horses, well, selling those horses to a very expensive price here. In comes the Chasky Scout. Now it can't reach Thebes with the next turn, so Reaver should be good for now. And he's just got to make sure that he gets his defenses up again. In general, Team Anti's rolls so far have been going pretty well. Apart from the fact that Anti's himself been struggling a little bit very early on, I feel like the game's been going generally favorable for them. 2 workers already for Persia is surprising for me, though. I wonder why he would have made another worker that early on. His land doesn't look like it needs that much work to be put into it, but he apparently feels otherwise. Looks like they've just made contact here as well. Cheese and Anti did. So yeah, contact between all the north and south teammates, but I don't believe anybody has made contact with their isolated player yet. Although no, never mind. Alk and Cheese of course met up down here. So Anti's team also ahead in terms of making contact with everybody. Something I touched on during the last game as well. We have 2 agricultural civs versus just 1 on the opponent's team. So Anti and Cheese playing agricultural, they're going to get a natural score. Hold that thought though, is Thebes is potentially double movable. We'll see if he get an incredible kill off here. He doesn't know, of course, that that city was empty, so yeah, he maybe could have gone for the double move into Thebes and rolled that 1v1 versus Reaver's Warrior, but of course he didn't know that the cap was empty, and so Reaver's Warrior Wall is holding firm for now. He's gonna look for this second city, but bro, this is a rough one. It really is. Planting that one without the road connection is pretty painful there, because I feel like he maybe should have readjusted and moved that settler onto the horse and just planted onto the horse. That, in hindsight, looks like the decidedly better city plan to me. Because back here, you're just so double movable, and the enemy has better mobility in your land than even yourself, so that's just never good. Halu apparently doing fine so far. He's just spamming warriors, it looks like, and in comes potential double move there for Anti. He's moving on to the wheat, but he's gonna try to be cancelled, and luckily for Reaver, he gets the good roll this time around. No retreat even, and gets the pillage interrupted just in time. So all good for Reaver for now. No more threat from the Incans just yet. He's also now scouted their land and is aware of exactly what they've got going on at home. We see the same thing from Anti as 2 days ago, if you remember, on the Aztecs. He got the very early GL, and he made 3 cities in that game on very low population, and then started building up a couple of units again. Never even got to making a Doom stack though, or even a very potent stack at all in that game. Just stayed on those 3 cities that he made in GA, and that's exactly what he's doing now again. You can see that, right? The third city coming out here as well. Looks like Sardo's struggling mightily even with the barbs here. He's just getting shafted by his rolls. Luckily, he's got that iron in cap, so maybe that's gonna be uh, a silver lining for him. He's moving around the Celtic land, trying to see what he can get there. Just so far, only warriors for Halu, and that's going to be good enough for him to defend. He's somehow going to have to unlock that iron over there, though, and that is going to be difficult. Really is. Yeah, not sure he'll be able to do that easily. Maybe needs a few archers in order to get that done. Machu Picchu planter, you can see right there, Anti again, the first one to get his third city out. Let me get my spy onto Elk finally. Alright, good news. It landed at least. So we see just the pure warrior spam so far from the Celts, contrasted with the spearmen there for Sardos. Wow, he lost a spearman to that barb. Oh boy, that is just terrible for him. Celts declare war on the Romans. It looks like, wow, was that an end of turn double warrior hit into that iron? Oh man, Halu tried to go for it sneakily before Elk could reinforce it. And yeah, I like that adjustment from Reaver. He's thought about it, and he's going for the safer plan and also for the one that secures him his horses early. I like that choice, and that is good. He's got the horses way earlier than Cheese has, so he's gonna be able to pressure Cheese before he even gets his GA or even his horses hooked possibly. So that is nice for the Egyptians. They're gonna have the chance to pressure a bit there. Also gets a bit more reconnaissance done there in Inca. And interesting, they're already talking about harboring that iron potentially. That is a decent idea. Wonder if they're going to be able to do that though, because the enemy territory is kind of. I don't know if that enemy land here is interrupting their sea trading route. Yeah, Zardos is saying the same thing. I don't think it quite works like that. Interesting to see where he's going to go with that spearman, though. I wonder what he's looking to do there, because he's not going to be able to get it onto anybody's iron. Although he doesn't know that. Maybe he's looking for Rome's iron to maybe try and block it. Not going to be able to do that, however. And yeah, decent plant there for Memphis. Sucks that it was delayed like that, but I like that choice. And looks like the Incans also with their second worker now, and were able to kill off the Egyptian warrior, it seems. So now more free building time for both Reaver and for both Antiquity and Cheese, excuse me. That's looking very scary, having two enemy aggressives that are sort of free building there. And on the contrary, the captain here of Halu's team, Halu himself, not able to get his very much needed rest, and that is just brutal here. He ends up losing the warrior and that role. He's in enormous trouble right now. He loses, oh man, he loses two warriors there, loses his worker. It's just not going right for him at all. Elk is completely smothering him right now. At least Cheese has been removed from Halu's land, but oh man, how is he ever going to get to that iron? It's looking super tough for him. Maybe it could be a good idea to plant a city there on the hill and then go for the temple border expand for the iron. It's just super terrible. Zardo's looking for the Roman iron here. He's not been able to find it so far, but luckily for Zardo's, or for Elk rather, he's got that backline iron safe, so just as Reaver does. Maybe Reaver's gonna communicate that and tell Zardos that probably there's some backline iron there. That's what the more advanced teams have been able to do in this tournament so far, is making educated guesses, or well, maybe just calculations. Uh, Very accurate assumptions, at least, about the enemy land and their res especially. Third city now also for Cheese. You can see how these agricultural civs are starting to pull away, whereas Halu isn't quite able to keep up with that pace because he's getting choked and he doesn't have that freshwater bonus on his second city either. So it's a bit of an uphill battle there for Halu's team so far. In general, when you're playing one aggressive versus two, you're gonna have to kill at some point. You're gonna get outscored. So you have to play since turn one. You have to play like you're gonna have to kill. And yeah, let's see how they do that. They have three civs that are definitely good at killing stuff. You would think, however, the Celts have not gotten a single kill in this tournament so far. Archery came close last game, but it didn't end up panning out that way. So who knows if that's actually going to be that effective, and without any iron, you would think that the Celts also struggle at getting kills. Persia, however, on the other side, they can definitely look for kills here. They've got coastal nearby. They could do some boating here. They've got uh, infinite access to their iron pretty much. That's not gonna get denied, not gonna get cut. But oh wow, did he lose both his workers to barbs? Yeah, that is massive. You shouldn't be able to come back from this if you're Persia. Losing spearman, warrior, and two workers to barbs, that is just yeah, that was just some asinine RNG there. Oh boy. And yeah, it's super cool how Elk's been able to yeah choke out Halu down there. Halu's still got somewhat productive land, right? But he's not getting any closer to his iron. And as soon as legions are on there, he's just never gonna be able to get that. So they might have to harbor it, but I'm not even sure that that is possible. I'm not even sure that you can harbor this if the enemy has got a border like this. Please feel free to let me know if you are sure about this. Ah, oh man, that is one that is just a rough spot for Halu's team here, and they're already well they've only played one game in the tournament so far. I don't want to make it seem worse than it is, but they are 0 wins, 1 loss in the tourney so far against Obi's team, that is. Now it looks like they're off to a bad start against Antiquity as well. It's not all over. Oh, by no means do I want to make this game look like it's over, because in every single game so far we have seen people throw. Well, yeah, we have seen people throw potentially and open themselves up to being punishable. So I don't want to put it past Antiquity's team to get outplayed here. I Antiquity, yeah, he's thinking about what on earth Zardos is doing. Well, if only he knew that Zardos got completely ruffle stomped by those barbs. It's an interesting one. It's an interesting one. Well, Zardos also for the first time playing in this tournament, maybe he also isn't quite aware of how short the game really is with those 72 turn limits here. Egypt taking GA over there, that's something we also noticed with the kill on the warrior on that hill. That's now Egypt's GA. A 2-city GA is definitely passable there on Egypt. So if you're going to pump out a couple of war chariots, you can give either Incans or Iroquois some trouble. Both of them have hooked their horses already though, and they've been building up chariots, you'd imagine. Although for the Iroquois, they are only just now starting, so maybe Reaver's gonna be able to give him some trouble before Cheese even enters that GA. Third city also for Egg now. He's been playing a great game here. Look at this. He's still trading favorably there with Halu, making it impossible for him to make any progress. And at the same time, he's walling off there against Zardos. Really nicely done as well. Yeah, Iron Hook there for Zardos. He's just upgraded that first Immortal. Maybe he's got 2 or 3 even. Let's check in there. It's just 1, so he's going to look for that GA, probably of Halu's Warrior there. And then we'll see what he's going to be able to do, how he's going to be able to get involved. I just generally don't really like 1-city GAs. Gotta also keep track now of Reaver. He's the one with the highest level of agency in the game right now, just in terms of troops that he has. He's in a 1v2 over here, and it doesn't look like anybody's going to be able to help him out anytime soon. Zardo's still stuck on that 1 city, trying to take his GA here, possibly. I'd assume he's going to go for that 2nd city first, though. And on the other side, Halu just, as we've established, just hampered by this early choke there. And just unfortunately for his team, he's in that only spot on the map where the iron is kind of tough to get to. So that's unfortunate for him. Reaver sending out those war chariots in different directions. Also gonna meet that Chaska here pretty soon, you'd have to imagine. Maybe he can sneak some improvements, sneak some workers of his opponents, because he's been swarming the map with those war chariots, and they are coming out in full force now. One platoon in Thebes for sure. So far he's just parking them though, maybe stacking a couple of them up and then trying to see where he can get something done. Halu also scouting around in Iroquois land. There we go. Halu got that warrior there now. Does he have vision of Salamanca? I don't think he does. I think that Healy is blocking the vision actually. So he doesn't even see Cheese with that mounted upgrade here. That is big for him now. That first of all, that means he doesn't know that Cheese has upgraded yet, and second of all, he's not aware that he could be attacked here next turn and could essentially just be giving over a free GA to Cheese's Iroquois there. And that is bad news. Now, the good news is maybe he's going to be able to distract Cheese a bit when Reaver tries moving in. But, oh boy. Yeah, Zardos just reiterating what I said a second ago. That GA on the one city is not really what you're looking for. Usually, we see the second city here for the Celts, again, not on fresh water. That's just bad news. Archer stack coming out from the Incans. They've been using their 3-city GA, as I've mentioned. Just like yesterday, make 3 cities and then start spamming stuff. Even just regular chariots here. It looks like, wow, it looks like Halu's warrior over survived that one, and maybe, it's unfortunate. I was gonna say, maybe that one mounted warrior he killed could potentially be big if Reaver actually ended up moving in here end of this turn. He doesn't quite have enough units to threaten Grand River, though, I'm afraid. Maybe let's investigate that city. Do I wanna? Yeah, sure. Let's check what he's got in there. Uh, Okay, it's not massively defended, so if he's quick enough, he might be able to threaten the city. Cheese overall does have enough unit to defend that though, so we'll see. Doesn't look like there's any action going on anywhere else. So let's see. Reaper moves in. Yep, there he goes. Onto Green River. Quick reinforcement from Cheese though. And Reaver is not hitting, instead retreats there. Doesn't feel like he's got the numbers necessary here. And doesn't want to waste his war chariots. I think that is a pretty intelligent move. I believe 4 units it was in Grand River there, and that probably couldn't really have been a kill. Unfortunately, over here for Halu too, he's with his capital burning there, just not in a great shape, as you can see. 2 cities off fresh water is not what you like to see as agricultural, and his team is just falling further and further behind in terms of score probably as well, although I haven't even been paying attention to that. Legion upgrade now done for Elk. How many does he have? I don't think too many. He's got 2 of them, so if only one of them goes onto this iron, I'm ready to call it. Halu's never getting that. He's made a galley though, so that is pretty good idea there. If he just puts a few units on that galley and then maybe tries for a joint attack onto Cheese, maybe that is something that could work out there as Cheese slaving another mounted warrior down there probably. Causes Niagara Falls to burn. He's apparently going to move all his stuff forward there. I don't hate this play, right? He's gonna try and do something here, coordinating with Antiquity, but Riva still having those war chariots around, and at the end of next turn, Harley being able to land Jesus' backline, that might spell some trouble for him. Maybe that is the avenue back into this game for Team Halu. And oh boy, is this gonna be? This would be the 5-head move. Wow, Elk spotted the galley. Wow, that is Elk's just turning out to be the MVP of this one. Look at him spot that galley from Halu. That just saved Cheese completely, likely, because he otherwise would have been probably caught off guard there in the backline city. And there we go. You can see he's got that warrior over here, which gives him vision. I'm not sure he just moved it there end of this turn, but he gets the vision of Halu's galley, and that was a huge play. And without even being on Discord, they were able to coordinate that. On the other side, we see Elk getting a great roll on that kill. That was not a likely victory, I don't think, against that Spearman on the spices. At least it probably was close to 50-50. Gets a really nice roll, gets his GA, and that is going to be scary too. All 3 enemies here for Team Halu are on 3 cities. They all have their GA now, and that is going to be super tough to deal with. upgrade done for Antiquity as well. Reaver's gotta feel like he's getting hit here pretty soon. Out comes the Horseman stack, and the Mounted Warriors are nearby too. Now, what they still can do is try and do something with these War Chariots end of turn at some point, but he doesn't have that much time left, and he already moving in there. And out comes Halu, even has two galleys, but yeah, Cheese was just ready for this one, and he's counter moving now. Even wow, I think Halu just hitting into that. He's gotten a okay roll, I believe, but it doesn't really matter as Cheese just gets the cleanup done there. Really nice heads up call by Halu. I like the play too, right? You're completely yeah, just pressured at home, completely stuffed in there. And yeah, well, it was at least an idea to make a outbreak or whatever it's called with galleys, a breakout, and it just wasn't supposed to be, I assume. When dead, Zardos asks. I wonder what he's on. Maybe he's asking when River or when Halu is gonna die. Not sure. Maybe one of them called that they're probably in trouble soon. I find this interesting, however. River moving those war chariots around, apparently trying to go for antiquity after all, maybe feeling like he's got an easier path there. He's getting double moved on already though, so that's not going to be a long time that he's got left in order to do something. Gotta feel like he's gonna have to go as soon as possible there. Send you galleys, cheese, Halu. Yep, even more galleys coming apparently. But I wonder what Halu's idea is now. Maybe he's sending stuff to retake Egypt, but don't think he's gonna have enough in order to do that. But yeah, maybe that's the idea now. Send those galleys through and try to retake once Egypt gets killed. I just don't think that's gonna be a long-term viable play. And so maybe with the experience from the previous series against Obi that Anti already won, maybe they've just got a better meta read because it's looking like they're gonna get their first kill of this match here pretty soon. Although Halu's not gonna die, he really can't contribute, and that is a problem when your first pick can't get involved in the game. And we've seen this time and time again now that the Celts just aren't able to do stuff. In go the horses though, and they're already able to hit, at least cheeses are. And wow, nice job by Anti as well. He spotted out these war chariots there from Riva, so now I don't believe he's got any realistic shot of getting an attack off anywhere really. Look at this. Anti can just he can just consolidate all those warriors in any given city of his empire, and he's not gonna die. So such tough luck for Riva there. He's in a 1v2 start. He has those forces at least, but two super strong players and civs just neighboring you, and your team not being able to help out is just a tough spot for him to be in. He's not had an easy start into this tournament by any means. In that first game he played against Obi's team also, been in a tough spot up against Rabdex Incans, who just rolled him with that early GA. So you can't envy those two positions that he's found himself in. Let's see how expensive he can make this for the Incans. And of course the Iroquois as well. He's getting moved on. He also moves his own units in, but he just doesn't have a whole lot of them. Gets attacked. Where are they gonna attack though? I assume it's gonna be Heliopolis, and it is. It looks like there's not a lot of units in there. He's trying his best to survive as long as it might take to get a kill at Tiwanaku, but it's not enough there. He simply gets overwhelmed by all those mounted and horsemen. There wasn't a way for him to defend this one, I don't think. And it's an unfortunate one for him, but I don't think he could have done a whole lot there. Was a really nice attempt onto Iroquois earlier, and then trying for that surprise play onto Incans. He just ended up getting spotted, unfortunately, so it is what it is. Kill goes over to Cheese, he takes the kill credit, and we're gonna have to go into the reload. Unless, of course, they want to forfeit the game. But we'll see that. in just a second here. Wow, super unfortunate spawn in, or well, setup just in any case for Team Anti, or rather for Team Halu, as Team Anti has been cruising here. Are they gonna grab their third win, I believe, in a row? It would be, possibly. Oh boy. We're figuring out right now whether or not they're gonna GG here, Team Halu that is. So we'll see. Oh boy. So let's see what Halu says. We haven't heard back from him. Zardos has said he's willing to forfeit this one. Yeah, Reaver asking for pity in the chat. I gotta give it to him. Alright, I haven't heard back from Halu is the issue, but we'll see as soon as he makes a call. Trying to figure stuff out here. Man. We just did one confirmation here. I'm sorry, guys. We're waiting here on the edges of our seats. See if Halu wants to GG. I assume he'd want to GG, but he just hasn't said anything yet. So that's. Okay, Halu has GG. Alright, we've officially got it then. Oops. Anti with another victory here. They are doing well. Okay. All right. All right. All right. So we're gonna have a next game here probably. Um, give me a sec. Give me a sec. So probably gonna have another game here coming up shortly. Probably, I say. So keep your tabs on the Steam group or Discord. I'll announce it there if we play or if we don't play. I'll end the stream right here, and then I'll hopefully be back here pretty soon. Thanks for